All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another video for what is probably being my favorite all green deck right now, especially for the Double Typhoon Cup. That is called the Green Gotcha. This is an anti-green build, if you will. It's not 100% complete, but I will mention what the changes I will be making in the future are as I get to them. But essentially the big idea of the deck is to kind of gamble a little bit, but not really. There's a couple of cards you want to abuse the hell out of, and I'll talk about them more when I get to them. First of all, you run 4 of the Gotcha Koromon, which takes a peek at the top card of your deck as you attack. If you see the card you want, you keep it there. If you don't see it, you bottom deck it, give yourself a better chance at the gamble, right? So that's this Koromon's whole job is to take a peek and see whether you like what you see or you don't like what you see. Argomon, when suspended, you gain 1 memory when unsuspending at the beginning of your turn. Pretty good, just because memory in general is pretty good with green. This version of the deck uses very little memory, so 1 memory can go a long way in this deck. You definitely want to kind of have that. 4 of the Kokuamon which gives you security check +1 when you're a level 6 green. I know that you got to pay 1, but honestly, passing 1, if this is turn 1 and you have this guy, you pass 1, that's not a terrible thing at all. Your opponent is choked immediately, and you have a potential stack that threatens a lot if it gets up to where you want it to be, which you will be doing. You want to keep this the stack kind of protected until you are ready, until you pick up the pieces. And it shouldn't take long. I've seen this deck really do damage pretty fast. I run 3 of the Agumon here. This guy reveals top 4 and adds a Tamer. I don't necessarily need that, but if there's a Tamer out, the 2 additional K, it can be pretty good, especially if you're going to be swinging up against like decks that might run Quartzmon or Rosemon or things like that. You might need that extra DP here in addition to the other cards that come up later. Yeah, I've lost a match just because I hit into a Quartzmon and I just happened to have exactly 15k. You want to get as much as you can. 2 of the Kunamon, that when you on play, you can suspend it to lick up 3 cards, 3 green cards. Well, 3 cards, and then pick up a green card from there. So this is very much a searcher, and you can search for any green card, pick up any green card that you might want from there. This on a pinch, you can also, of course, digivolve it. The stack will be lacking something, but it's fine. Sometimes you just got to do that. But Kunamon is there to mainly be a little bit flexible, picking up cards, as well as being a potential rookie that you can go into. We run 2 Palmumon. As you may or may not know, green likes to play a lot of Digimon via effects. Palmumon keeps that from happening. And this deck's build is made so that you're not really playing Digimon via effects. Therefore, this will mainly hurt your opponent, especially if they're playing something like Devas or Bloomlord type of stuff. This card can be huge. You just put it out, leave it out. And your effects will usually try to play Tamers more than anything, but not necessarily Digimon. But although it could, but Palmumon is really nice in certain matchups against other greens, which is what we want to have, right? We are in the Green Cup. Run 1 Terriermon of the new ones, the SR starter deck one. I like it. It reduces the play cost of a Tamer in this. I mean, it also has Lotmon, but there's no Lotmons here. Of a Tamer by 2. Our Tamers can come out for cheap, and usually we are doing pretty good if we can get our Tamers out early in the game and for cheap. Also, when you are suspended, you gain +1000. That's either blocking or attacking. You have an additional 1000 of the Terriermon, which is sometimes useful. It can be, and often is with green, in which has some trouble gaining DP. This is the big daddy of the deck, Tortomon. Drops for 4, digivolves for 2. Getting it out is super important because of its when attacking inherited ability. You may reveal 1 green Digimon from your hand and place it on top of your deck to have this Digimon gaining +3000 DP. Ideally, the card you're revealing is your level 6 that you're going to digivolve into, and then the additional 3k is just even more, right? The stack will have additional 5 or 4k depending if you have the right rookie under it, or security check +1. This is a big cog piece of the deck. This Tortomon ability is huge because it lets you control what you're going to reveal when you use the gacha cards later on. So Tortomon, 4 of Do not run less than that. This deck is very reliant on it. Stingmon, Digivolve for 1. That's its whole deal. It does have the inheritable that when you kill a Digimon, you gain 1 memory, but we're not really trying to use that. We really just want to Digivolve for cheap and move on to our level 5 later. We also run 1 Metal Kabuterimon hybrid. If you get your Tamer out, you can go for games sometimes with the hybrid. Or if you just need to draw more pieces and you're at level 4 already, you can Digivolve for 1 and try to pick up another level 5, because level 5s are extremely important for this deck. So let's move on to those level 5s. We have 4 Mame Tyrannomon. This card is, of course, one of the 2 that you need desperately to pick up in your deck. You reveal the top 3 cards on your deck. You may Digivolve into that Digimon if it's a green level 6 card, which they all will be. For free, you get rid of the remaining. You put the rest on the bottom. So you are trying to go into some expensive level 6s with this card. I will also bring up the next card, which is Jagamon, which does the exact same thing. You are trying to pick up these cards, and when attacking with them, try to Digivolve into a level 6 that's going to just rip your opponent apart. The main difference between the 2 is that this is 7k versus this is 5k. The 5k is a little bit easier to exploit. Do not leave this guy out if you feel like your opponent might run the old Rapidmon, BT8, I want to say Rapidmon, which reduces your DP by 5k. This guy could die. Jagamon is a safer option if you're in a situation like that. Just mentioning that, it's happened to me specifically. I left the main Tyrannomon out and it got DP reduced by 5 and died when I could have had the game. Onto level 6s, which is what you want. Dino Rexmon. Again, we're trying to Digivolve for free. Dino Rexmon is really good, especially against green, because what it does is for each Tamer your opponent has, which they usually have a lot, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon and gain 1 memory. If you're Digivolving for free off the Gacha level 5s, this guy's actually just gaining memory for each Tamer, which is really nice. And then, when an opponent's Digimon with 6000 DP or less becomes suspended, you may delete that Digimon. You are suspending a Digimon for your opponent if you happen to suspend a level 6000 DP or less. You can pop that, and then when you pass turn, if your opponent suspends, which, like for example, a Bloomlord would attempt to do constantly, you can choose a 6k or less to pop, and this is all turns. This is really, really nice against other green decks that suspend. Also, if you happen to be playing a Gacha, it would pop the main Tyrannomon when it suspends. So yeah, be careful with that. But this card is really, really good. 13 DP. It's really hard to beat. Dino Rex will try to control the board really nicely. Now, this right here is my placeholder. Right now, I have 3 of the Imperial Dragon Ace, but these 2 of them would be the next card, which I'll show you in just a second. But the one-off is still pretty nice. What it does is it blast Digivolves up into 12 if you want. Sometimes you happen to have the level 5 out and it didn't check something, perhaps. Maybe it's still out there. But if your opponent tries to kill it, you can Ace, suspend their Digimon, unsuspend yourself, and then when this card suspends itself sometimes, which you can do, it gets to play a Digimon with 4000 DP or less from your hand without paying the cost, or you can also play a Tamer. Usually it'll be a Tamer. Again, we have the Palmu, which might prevent you from putting a Digimon down, but it can't prevent you from playing a Tamer, and that can be nice. So 2 of them, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but this is the big daddy of the deck. This is the newest card from the starter deck. This should be 4. This card is straight up broken in Green Gacha. In Green Gacha, MegaGotcha Ace is absolutely terrifying. You're Digivolving into it for free if you're able to. It has Reboot. It has Blocker. I don't know if you guys can see that pretty well. When Digivolving, you suspend 2 of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. So it suspends Tamers as well. Interaction with Tamers is really nice. Then, 2 of the Digimon or Tamers can't unsuspend or Digivolve. Stopping your opponent from Digivolving is huge. You're literally swinging into your opponent with potentially plus checks, with a maybe increased DP from the Torto, having Digivolve for free into MegaGotcha. They cannot ace you. You cannot be aced. If your opponent has their own MegaGotcha ace or whatever ace they have, MegaGotcha keeps them from Digivolving. They cannot ace you as you attack, which is really, really nice. Aces have been like such a good mechanic, and MegaGargo stops that just by that. That by itself is worth it. But there's still more. When digivolving, you may unsuspend this Digimon. Since you are attacking with the Gacha level 5s, you get to stand back up and swing again potentially with another security check, which is incredible. And while your opponent cannot ace, this MegaGargo is so good in Green Gacha. You should definitely be running 4, and I will be putting 4 as soon as I pick up another starter deck. My local card shop had one, but I just didn't have the money at the time. I was trying to pay cash, and I just didn't have enough cash. But as soon as I pick up another one, bam, 4 MegaGargo aces. The card is just broken, really good. We run 2 Rosemons. You will usually have enough DP or just resources to digivolve into Rosemon without needing to do the Yoshino combo. And this card can usually go for game by then. 2 is fine, 1 is not fine. It's up to you. But don't worry about it too much. You will usually have the 5 memory needed as long as the level 6 has survived. So Rosemons, 2 of them, hopefully you know what it does. It trashes for every suspended Digimon that your opponent has on the field. I run 3 Mimi. Mimi is pretty important. You could run 4. I think 3 is perfectly fine. I have not seen it when I'm playing 3 because I'm just searching, you know, often enough and picking up often enough. Of course, Mimi is there to keep your supply of Digimon coming and then potentially bring out something that can swing for game, which is really nice, right? If you have the level 5 out there or higher, you can use Mimi's ability to bring out something from raising, which is really nice. 4 green memory boosts. You need those pieces. Those pieces are incredibly important. The level 5s, if you can get the Tortomon, of course, you get that. Green memory boost is there mainly to search for things. But then you can use the memory for other stuff if you want. Hopefully you're not being forced to hard digivolve. There's no like level 5 here that doesn't use this mechanic. So you could use the memory to hard play, for example, an ace, right? Like Imperiodemon, which has happened to me. I've had to hard play an Imperiodemon ace for 7. And I happen to have 2 green memory boosts out there, and that helped me win that game, which is pretty nice. So we run 4 of that. 2 agility trainings. These would be, there's only 2, but I mean you could run 3. But really the only time you'd really use it is to digivolve into your level 5s for 1. Which is nice, but ideally you have either a tamer or maybe you have a green memory boost already, and those will also let you go into these while having other things to look for the pieces, right? So green memory boost is just better for searching pieces. Agility training will search 2 pieces, which is not as much, and then reduce the digivolution cost, so you don't have as much flexibility with what you can do with the card. So still 2, 3 if you want, that's fine. We run 2 more options. 1 HPD. It's come up. Honestly, I think HPD can be cut or replaced by something else, perhaps another Rookie, maybe another Terriermon if you want, maybe another Agumon. I am running only 3. Maybe another Searcher Kunemon. Maybe you need that. HPD, because you only have 1 stack a lot of the time, it's fine, but it has happened where I, for example, had HPD and 1 card out and I want to go into Rosemon. But I'll have my hybrid, right? I'll have my Metal Kabuterimon. I'll take Mimi up to a hybrid, HPD, suspend, go into Rosemon. Rosemon just wipes the whole security and swings for game. It can happen. It's kind of like a win more option. It's fine. And then 1 Granded Soul. Sometimes you might come across a player who runs Quartzmon and you just want to get rid of it. Granded Soul will do that. And of course, if you have 2 suspended Digimon, it'll be out for cheaper. It's just really good. Granded Soul is really good. I like it a lot. So that's essentially the deck profile. I want to show you. I'm going to kind of show you what the combo kind of looks like. Give me just a second. Ideally, of course, you have the right stack. You have Koromon under. You might want to have Kokuamon under. You definitely want to have Tortomon if possible. Tortomon is the correct card for the combo to run ideally. If you're running the Stingmon under, that means that your Koromon will take a peek. Of course, and then you gotta hope that level 3 is in there. If not, then you gotta hope that you survive, right? It's really a gamble. It happens, but this deck has been consistent enough for me. I really enjoy it. It's been pretty cool. So ideally, what you have is your stack here. Let's say you have Jagamon. Jagamon is the better one here with the higher DP. They both do the same thing, but just the higher DP is really nice. your turn begins, right? If you have Mimi, you'll automatically get your 3. Let's say you have Mega Gargo in hand, you have Jagamon in hand, you have Mimi, right? You go. All right, I start my turn with 3. We're going to go into Jagamon. Whether you promote it or not, it's fine. Probably want to promote, right? Go into Jagamon for the 3. Jagamon will declare an attack. Koromon will check the top card. Bam, it's not a level 6. I can just put it to the bottom so that I give myself a better chance at actually hitting a level 6. However, Tortomon lets me take one of my level 6 greens, reveal it to my opponent, and put it on top of my deck. I'm choosing to do that after I've checked with the Koromon. The Jagamon will also, of course, gain plus 3,000. So now it's technically swinging for 10. But when I reveal the 10 off of Jagamon's ability, you'll see that I can digivolve into Mega Gargomon for free. We'll do that when attacking. Then when digivolving, we'll suspend 2 of our opponent's Digimon, and then they cannot digivolve. So when we get to the ace step, the interrupt step, if you will, the that part of the attack, they cannot digivolve into an ace. Now, Mega Gargomon also unsuspends, so it's going to stand back up, right? And it is going to be able to swing again for 2 checks again. So right now, this Mega Gargomon is swinging for 15k, 2 checks. Digivolve for free. It has blocker, reboot. It will be able to do that. He's going to swing again. And then, if you want to be extra safe, you can put another green Digimon card from your hand on top of your deck and do this a second time because there is no once per turn. You can also check with Koromon if you want to see what's on there, right? If you want, you can send it to the bottom. If you don't want, you can keep it there. It does not matter. And then if you have, let's say, an egg. If I don't have an egg, I can Mimi, hatch another egg, right? Go into a Riki. You can keep your combo going really nicely. And then by the time eventually your turn ends, your Mega Gargomon will stand up. He will have a blocker because he got reboot. He got to stand back up. And yeah, your opponent is going to have a really hard time with that. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. And there are other combos. You can go Rosemon if you wanted to, essentially. There are many more combos. This deck is really fun. But you let me know what you think. What changes would you make? This is not a perfect list. Again, I am not the best deck builder, but I love to have fun decks that usually can have some wins. And this happens to be one of them. So thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next one.